First story. OP's ex seeks reconciliation after 4-year divorce plus daughter's post. Throwaway since I don't want to be linked back to my main account. I'm 46, and my ex-husband is 45. We were college sweethearts and married at 26. Right before we got married, I gave birth to a beautiful daughter who's now 21 years old. I loved both of them dearly, and we've been a happy family for about 16 years since everything went down. Our only problem was my ex's mother. She always had a strong dislike for me. She never thought I was good enough for her baby boy. We had many fights, and my ex cut contact with her after the wedding when she tried wearing white to it. We had many encounters with her after that, sending us gifts for my daughter, and purposely trying to get us to contact her again to see her outside our house. 4 years ago, I got home from work to see my ex and his mom together on the couch. My ex was on the verge of tears, yelling and calling me a cheater. I tried to explain that I didn't, but his mother supposedly had proof. She said she saw me and another man out in a restaurant together. I'm very faithful and loyal, but he refused to hear me out. We got into a big argument before he packed up and left to stay with his mother. When my daughter got home from a friend's house, she too started to blame me when she found out from her dad. She went to live with her dad while he sent out divorce papers. It took about a year before it was finalized. He got custody of her, and I was granted visitation rights, but she never wanted to see me. It took a long time to move on. I sought therapy and fell into a huge depression. I knew my ex's mother made it up to tear us apart. I can't believe he listened to her so carelessly. I don't blame my daughter, but it still hurts. I moved out of the house to allow my ex and my daughter to live there. I ended up moving to a small apartment. It's been 4 years, and I finally started to be happy again. I made new friends. We had so much fun, and I got a promotion at work. I still missed my family, my daughter, but I couldn't do anything about it. 2 days ago, my daughter called me. It's been 4 years since I've last seen or heard from her. She said that my ex's mother admitted to lying. She said that my ex got a new girlfriend, and his mother was furious, claiming he shouldn't have won after all the trouble she went through to get rid of me. They got into a heated fight before he kicked his mom out. I nearly wanted to cry. I thought she would never admit it, and now I'm hearing my daughter. She asked to meet up and apologized so many times. I told her we could meet tomorrow. Yesterday, I met her at a restaurant, but she brought along my ex. Something she never mentioned, nor have I agreed upon. He was apologizing, saying how much he missed me, and that he dumped his girlfriend. He wanted us to be together again. I excused myself and left them there. I got back home to lots of phone calls from my daughter and text messages from her. She wanted us to talk, and she called me an arsehole for leaving. I told her I wasn't comfortable and that she needed to understand. I had to mute my phone and put it down for a bit. I haven't responded yet, and I'm not sure what to do. I love her, but I can't talk to her with him there. Not yet anyway. It feels so fast. I wanted to do it one-on-one. I'm deeply hurt and crying as I'm typing this. I don't know what to do. Edit. I did not expect this post to start blowing up. I appreciate the love and support. However, I didn't make it clear about my daughter's custody. Her opinion mattered in court since she was 17 at the time of the divorce. Although the divorce was about me allegedly cheating, my ex and I agreed to keep that apart from the actual divorce process. Split what we needed to split, and let our daughter choose who she wants to be with. She wanted to live with her dad, and I agreed. She was strongly adamant about not seeing me, so I allowed my ex to have full custody, leaving me with visitations. Not only that, I needed to find an apartment. I had to move out of the house. I was living from couch to couch in my relatives' homes. I didn't have space for her, and my ex mentioned it in court. It was the main reason why she was granted the right to stay with her father. I was under stress, and I was not mentally well. I signed off on my rights. I looked like a mess in court too. There was also a lot more going on during that time. Update. Hi. Within the past 2 days, a lot of stuff came out, and I'm beat. First of all, thank you for the support and advice. There were so many, but I decided to follow the ones I thought fit best for me and my daughter. In the last post, I mentioned in the comments about an update. 2 days ago, I texted my daughter to set some boundaries after the ambush attack at the restaurant. As we were talking, she mentioned new information about my ex and why he chose his mother's side over me. Earlier that morning, his mother confessed that she had paid an ex-friend of ours to lie directly in my ex-husband's face, claiming to be my affair partner. Mind you, I never cheated in the first place. My ex took that as solid evidence and divorced me because of it. His mother is a master manipulator and had him around her finger throughout his childhood. So I'm not surprised why he'd take her side. He didn't know that the confession was fake until a few days ago. I wasn't even aware of the entire thing for 4 years. No one had brought it up to me. My daughter gave me the silent treatment. My ex's mother obviously wouldn't say a thing to me and probably told my ex-husband to keep quiet and to only focus on the divorce. I'm still really saddened, but everything makes sense. I was so mad at him for leaving me over her word, but it was much more than that. Besides that, I decided to give my daughter another chance. She will not know where I live or any personal information to indicate where I am. I'm keeping close contact with her. I don't want her to spread it to her father or other people. I'll only show up during important events. Graduation, weddings, etc. I know my ex-husband will also attend. If that's the case, then so be it. I requested that my daughter put her father on the phone. He of course apologized so many times and hoped we could have another chance as well. He said he'd do anything to make it up, and that he loved me. I said no. I explained that I was keeping him out of contact, and that I was heartbroken when he didn't communicate with me about the cheating allegations and only assumed. I was practically homeless for a short time and needed to see a therapist to help me move on. I wanted to be left alone, and am currently not interested in other relationships. Then, I gave him a new email in case of emergencies directly involving our daughter. Anything else, I will discard. That was the only time I spoke to him in the past 2 days. I've been talking to my daughter, setting boundaries and whatnot. She gave small updates about what was going on with her side. They made no contact with my ex's mother, so that's good. I told her never to contact that woman again. She also apologized for her behavior at the restaurant and said that it wouldn't happen again. I understand that emotions were running high and everyone was tensed. I forgave her. I still really love her. Mistakes can happen. Now, a lot of you said to sue my ex's mother. I spoke to my therapist about it earlier today. She said it wasn't wise to do so. It'll put more emotional distress on me, and I might have to see her again and relapse into a depressive state. I really don't want that. I don't want anything to do with that woman again. All I want to do is focus on myself and on my daughter. I want to rebuild our relationship, and it will be ruined if I do something drastic, such as suing my ex's mother. I won't be pressing charges unless something else happens to the point where the police are involved. That would be different. Other than that, I'm taking a break. My daughter can text me anytime she wants, but I did say that I may not always reply since I want to remain in low contact as of now. Thank you so much for the support and love. I can't express how grateful I am. I'm sorry I haven't replied to any of the comments. There was so much, and it was very overwhelming. This may be my last post on this account, unless something happens in the near future. You guys are amazing. Thank you. Daughter's post. My mom posted about her divorce from my dad because of her mom. I'm their daughter. Edit. For the love of God, this is not my account. It doesn't even belong to me. I'm not using my actual one for obvious reasons. My mom recently made 2 posts about our family under the title, "My ex divorced me, and now he wants to be together again after 4 years." I'm their 21-year-old daughter, and I'm going to explain my side of things. Yes, I have been given permission from my mom to post this. There were a lot of things she neglected to say on her part. This is how I interpreted what happened on my side, since you'll be quick to blame. 5 years ago, when I was 16, my dad called me. He said he was at his mom's house, and that I needed to pack my things so he could pick me up. He told me that my mom had cheated on him, and now he was going to divorce her, so I did exactly as I was told. I was really mad at mom for doing such a thing. I thought they were inseparable. I was surprised. I thought they loved each other, and when mom was accused of cheating, I resented her. I yelled at her. I called her really hurtful things that I regret saying. I left to stay with my dad. The entire time, I refused to talk to mom during the divorce. I really hated her. I truly did. During that time, I was with my dad and my grandma. I met her a couple times, and my mom openly hated her. I didn't know why. She seemed sweet and supportive, helping my dad get through. She bought me presents and let me live under her roof. She was a stereotypically loving grandma. Mom ended up moving out so we could have the place back. In court, I favored my dad's side, and it was approved. I refused to contact my mom. It was like she didn't even try to fight to be with me. I was still really angry at her. Dad was crying on some days. He was really stressed and saddened. She did too, but I thought it was the guilt of being caught, and now having nowhere to go and being divorced as a consequence. There were a few times when I wanted to call her, shout at her, hate her. I didn't. For the next 4 years, it was me, Dad, and Grandma who occasionally visited. She showered me with gifts, always expressing how she finally got to meet her grandbaby. She spoiled me. Dad was still sad for like 3-ish years before meeting another woman, and they started dating. That's when everything turned upside down. He and Grandma would start getting into fights about the new girlfriend. She would threaten to harm himself and call him a pathetic excuse as a son. She knocked stuff over and constantly broke things when she didn't get what she wanted. She even threatened to hurt me sometimes and steal things away from me. Dad hardly ever brought his girlfriend over because of her. Grandma kept visiting almost daily. She was super obsessed with her dad and the new girl. Now repeat that for 5 months straight until she snaps. Another fight ensued, and then she confessed. I was in the other room when she screamed about how she did everything to get Mom away from him so she could have him all to herself, and now the new girlfriend is stealing him away. That's when I decided to call Mom to tell her what happened. I was scared. The next day, we agreed to meet at a restaurant. I told my dad about it afterwards, and he insisted on coming with me. I wasn't sure at first, but he convinced me to let him come. He was desperate, and he even broke up with his girlfriend over the phone. So I brought him with me. I didn't tell Mom, and when she came and saw us, she was uncomfortable and left after Dad was practically begging on his knees. I ended up calling her an arsehole. I was stressed and overwhelmed. I blurted out something I didn't mean. I get why she left. There was no excuse for my behavior. I started spam calling her and texting her constantly, trying to get a response from her. Some messages weren't nice. I was not thinking properly. Dad was bawling and started saying some depressing thoughts about how he hated himself and that he wished he was dead. I panicked like, what am I supposed to do? The next morning, Grandma came to the house while Mom was sending me long paragraphs about wanting to have a relationship again, but needing boundaries. The two were arguing downstairs until Grandma admitted to fabricating the affair confession. She paid someone $500 to tell Dad his wife was cheating on her with him. So obviously, I texted Mom about it while Dad kicked her out, screaming that he never wanted to see her again and that it was all her fault. The next day, in a half or so, Mom and I communicated with each other. I apologized to her about my recent behavior. It was super uncalled for, and I really regret saying those things. At one point, I gave my phone to my dad so the two could talk privately with each other. Mom wants to keep low contact, which I agreed to. Dad was upset that she wouldn't take him back. I learned Mom is seeing a therapist and went to see her earlier today. I haven't seen Grandma since Dad kicked her out. He has been saying she's been trying to call and text him every hour. Yes, I'm still living with my dad. I'm in community college. It's only a half hour away, so I stay home. I came across Mom's Reddit post on TikTok like 3 times. There are some comments about me that I'm really upset about. Do you not understand abuse victims like JFC? I had to put up with my dad's constant depressing behavior and my grandma's gaslighting, love-bombing tactics. I'm happy to be in contact with my mom. I never contacted her before because my grandma said negative things about her. I thought Mom was the controlling one. She wasn't. At all. I regret my choices, and I'm willing to fix them. And she is willing to give me a chance. You don't know our family. Stop acting like you do. Update 4 months later. I honestly don't even know if this is still relevant. I was originally about to delete my account, but kept it for a final update. After this, I will be gone. For the update. It's been a roller coaster. My daughter had posted her side of the events, and I did not realize how crappy the post really was until you guys pointed it out. We decided to speak about that more in family therapy, and she apologized for it. She logged out of the account and isn't using it anymore. I'm paying for our family therapy and individual therapy. I said that as long as she goes to school full-time, I will be financially supporting it. I think we have grown a lot in therapy. It's only been a few months, and we're able to express our feelings without anyone else judging. About my ex-mother. A month prior, she got arrested for drug possession. I literally have no clue what happened on her end, but my daughter messaged me about it. From what I could gather, she got caught with drugs in her home, and she is still behind bars. No one bailed her out. I chuckled when I found out. It was a pleasant surprise. About my ex-husband. I know he has been spiraling, and I think after his mother got arrested, he snapped. He started getting drunk and verbally aggressive towards my daughter. It's been happening for roughly 2 months, so I requested that my daughter live with me since I do not feel comfortable with his behavior. I was right, since his verbal aggression turned into physical abuse. He hit my daughter. While he went to work, I came back to the house. It was emotional. Not many things were changed, except for family photos, and the furniture was rearranged. I helped my daughter pack all of her things, along with important documents, and we fled. I turned my office area into her bedroom, and she's been staying with me for a week now. I've been driving her to school, and now this week is her last before she's out for summer break. It was awkward at first. I wanted to keep low contact with her, but I couldn't let her be abused and have the police do very little about it. We made a report. but I don't think much will be done about it. My daughter and I have been doing little things at home. Watching television together, driving her to school, and preparing meals for her. We're going slow, but we're bonding, and our relationship is growing. She's a lot quieter nowadays. She used to be so outgoing, but I know this is taking a toll on her. I'm glad she's willing to be in therapy. I suspect she has depression and post-traumatic stress disorder. Safe to say, it's a happy ending. Thank you so much for this journey. I desperately needed the support, which has been received. Also, please don't send death threats to my daughter. I already saw many comments speaking poorly about her, but it came to the point where some were sending death threats. It's so awful and ridiculous. That's not supportive towards my end, and it's gross behavior towards my daughter and in general. Shame on you. Other than that, I appreciate the advice. I'll be deleting my account in a few days or so. Thank you and goodbye. Second story. OP17M suspects, his brother 22M and mother 40F have been sleeping together. But the truth is much more disturbing. Throwaway, I had to delete the first one because it got blocked. I know this will sound bizarre, and for me it is too, but I have had these suspicions for quite a while. My brother 22M and my mom 40F have always had a close relationship. My brother is my mother's golden child, and they have always been close, but every time my dad 43M goes on a work trip, they become even closer, cuddling while watching a movie. They even go outside together. Whenever I ask them about this, they say it is a normal mother-son relationship, but I feel quite disgusted with this. Yesterday was the final nail in the coffin. My dad went on a business trip on Thursday and should be back this Wednesday, so I was returning home after seeing some friends, and the house was quiet, but the lights were on, which bothered me. When I went to take some comfy clothes from my room, I heard some noises from my parents' room. I just freaked out and remained quiet, then went to the bathroom. When I went out, my mom and brother were eating dinner like nothing happened. They even seemed surprised to see me home. I am confused right now. I don't know if I should tell my dad because I have no solid proof, but I am almost 100% sure that something is going on. I am disgusted with much of the comments, all making fun of me and saying lots of hurtful things. Thank you for nothing, strangers. Thank you for making fun of my problem. UPOT. 10 days after the original post. First of all, I received a lot of hurtful messages. I came here to vent and look for some support. Second, I have an update about everything. I put some cameras in, like some of you suggested, and yes, I have a video of my mom and my brother entering my parents' bedroom. I don't know what they would be doing there, and frankly, I don't care, which is disgusting. They were there for about an hour, then came out like nothing had happened. Of course, when my dad came back, I told him about my suspicions, and even though I showed him the video, he was angry. I have never seen him like this. He began screaming at my mom and my brother, who said time after time that they weren't doing anything sexual. My mother was angry at my dad for suggesting that, but when my dad asked her what they were doing, she just stood in silence. I am now with my dad at my aunt's house, his sister. I don't know what will happen, but at least he knows now. Relevant comments. Damn dude. One of the few times I can honestly say, I hope they were doing drugs. OP's reply. Me too. This would be easier to explain. I'm sorry for you, your father, and even your brother. That's abuse 101. When things settle, ask your father if it is possible for you to see a therapist. OP's reply. Yes, after this experience, I will definitely ask my dad for a therapist. So after all this time, when confronting mom and brother, neither of them has offered one explanation other than to deny. Even though you're dad and you are staying elsewhere, I'm trying to rack my brain around how denying, but staying silent would help their case. If I were innocent, you better believe I would be yelling from the rooftops what was actually going on, especially after an accusation like this, which is very serious. I'm also wondering what other options there are. Are seances going on? WTH. OP's reply. I received some comments from people saying that they could be doing drugs, and to be honest, I hope they were doing that. It could be a better thing that. The other thing. Hi. I am so sorry about the backlash you have received when you were just looking for some insight, comfort, or a venting area. I hope you and your dad can overcome this bad and questionable time. I wish you the best mentally as well. OP's reply. Thank you. My father is taking it really badly. I understand. I kind of expected something like this. I will be with him, supporting him as well. Same user adds. Though it does say something I can't say, I know exactly what was shown on the video. The fact that he instantly believed you means there were plenty of thoughts and suspicions. OP's reply. In the video, they went inside my parents' bedroom together. And then an hour later, they came out together as well. I told my dad all the things I had seen during this time, and then I showed him the video. Chances are, your mother groomed your brother into this relationship. He'll probably need some serious therapy to undo the damage she has done to him. Do you have an idea of when things started? OP's reply. I started seeing strange things about 6 months ago, or something like this. Another user asks. What things? OP's reply. They cuddle while watching TV, and they go out together. Even eating without me. But all these things used to happen while my dad wasn't at home. New update. 12 days after the original post. I won't post anymore. Thank you everyone for your suggestions and for your kind words. This morning, my mom came to my aunt's house, and she came clean with everything. My brother stole her. It looks like a year ago. My brother entered my parents' room when my dad was on a business trip and CA'd her. She showed us messages from my brother threatening her, even with violence. She told us that my brother had taken photos of that first encounter, and that he was using them as some kind of blackmail. My dad was fuming, and the moment we went back home, and he saw my brother start beating him, I had to grab him, and the neighbors called the police because of the noises. The police came, and everything was chaos. An ambulance had to come to take my brother, but none of us went with him. My mom and I talked with the police and explained everything. The police revised his laptop and phone and found lots of explicit pictures and videos of not only my mom, but some other girls, and even one cousin that we haven't seen in years. They took my dad into custody, and my mom and I went with him. My mom sued my brother, and we are going to contact my cousin and search for the other girls to see where they are. The thing that is making me feel like scum is that I have been thinking that my mom was an attacker. When she was a victim, she talked to me and apologized profusely for letting me aside and neglecting me. But she said that my brother was threatening her to not talk with me, so I kind of guessed that she was protecting me. I won't update, at least not for a while. This has been stressful for days and weeks. My dad will spend the night in prison, but the police have told us that tomorrow morning they will set him free. As for my brother, we don't care about him. My aunt has told the rest of the family what happened, so now we will try to contact the other girls, and we'll try to convince them to sue my brother as well. I feel like a failure to not be able to save my mother. I will be logging out. Sorry if I don't answer comments or DMs. I don't know if I will come back. But thank you to everyone who gave me suggestions. Thank you for watching the video. If you are interested in listening to these kinds of stories, we've got more in store for you. Simply subscribe to our channel, hit the like button, and share it with your friends.